going on, guys? Michael with MMA Island here, interviewing UFC middleweight and TUF 29 cast member Andre Petroski. Andre, gotta ask you, man, how does it feel to get the win?
It was good. It was a good trip. It would have sucked if I traveled halfway around the world and didn't come home with the victory.
Yeah, that's something I definitely want to ask you about. But first thing I want to ask, this has got to be, and I mentioned this to you before, this has got to be the quickest interview setup I've ever had in my life. Are you an interview type of guy? How often are you taking these interviews?
I've been doing a lot recently, at least as many as I can. But yeah, I don't know. I just was free, so I figured might as well.
Well, hopefully I don't have the bland questions that you've heard over and over again. That's always a fear of mine. But one thing I wanted to ask you about this is because when it comes to fight week, I'm a stickler when it comes to people's names and spelling people's names right, saying people's name right. And I don't know why, and maybe you've got this a lot, but there was one thing I saw with your name, Andre Petrovski. They threw in a V there for no reason. Is that a common thing you see?
I mean, everyone butchers my last name. It's Petroski, but they'll add in like a W, Petrowski or Petroski or however they want to pronounce it.
Yeah, and that was one thing that I noticed throughout the week, but I relate with you with my last name as well. But another thing, man, I can't grow facial hair to save my absolute life. Your beard got to be one of the top 5 in the UFC. I think maybe Andre Arlovsky's got you beat by a little bit, but man, how much work does that take?
Honestly, I don't really do anything to it, to be honest.
That's crazy.
It's all natural.
That's crazy.
But that's funny that you mentioned Andre Arlovsky. I was chilling with him. He was out there this weekend.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
That's awesome, man. So yeah, and one thing I noticed about you when I was watching you on The Ultimate Fighter is your house. You mentioned how it's by the creek. I saw the backyard and everything. And it looks awesome.
Yeah.
Just talk to me a little bit about why that's the perfect place for you to live. It's a beautiful setup.
Yeah. My neighbor, Mike Palco, he owns the gym down the street, and I met him. I was doing privates at the gym. Actually, my friend was actually living there first, and I went over and I met them, and through doing the privates at the gym and whatnot, I eventually ended up moving in, and it's cool, man. Like the water, being able to use the water, especially in the summer, is like really cool. We do these like kayaking trips, and it's just fun, man. I love the water. So it's like a little hidden gem in Jersey. Everyone usually just goes to the Jersey Shore, but we can at least get out on the water. It's not like the cleanest water, but it gets the job done.
And a big close by, it's no problem at all.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about the fight. And one thing that I noticed, because I'll mention this a little bit later, but one thing I noticed while watching the fight, at least, is that the commentary team. I don't know if you agree with this assessment at all, but anytime you threw a power strike, it was, Andre just puts everything in his punches. He's got to take a little bit off. They were just saying they were being really critical about the power you put in each of your punches. And I disagree. I think you were putting a great, well, obviously I don't know the exact power, but is that an accurate assessment of your power? Are you just putting everything and your gas out? Is that what they were expecting?
Yeah, I think that like two-part. One was that like I have a history of gassing out, and so that's what they were concerned about, is me wasting a lot of energy on my feet. And two was like I wasn't throwing my jab as much as I usually do, or following up with the hook. So it just kind of seemed like I was just throwing that left hand, which was kind of the case. And that was basically just throwing power crosses. But yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot to improve on for sure. Especially when I go back and watch the fight, like I can see, like, I'm like, God damn it, why didn't I just follow up with that right hand? Like every time I threw the cross, it connected, so if I would have just came back with the hook, I really think I could have got him out of there on my feet.
Yeah, and talking about your opponent, Hu Yaozong Hu. I don't know which one's first or not, but yeah, when I was doing my assessment and my study of him before the fight, I really couldn't find any sort of past record, because typically if you see someone with a smaller record at his age, it's like, oh, they were a kickboxer, or oh, they were this jiu-jitsu competitor. But
Yeah.
he was flat out 3-2. I saw no amateur record, nothing. And now with the loss that you gave him, he's now 3-3. Were you shocked by his skills at all for a guy who hasn't had the most amazing record ever?
I mean, he was, for a striker, I didn't think he was very good on his feet, to be honest. Yeah, I don't think he hit me at all in the fight. And for a striker, he was actually like not bad on the ground. Like he defended a lot of the submissions. You know, obviously I had like 6 or 7 submission attempts, and he did like a pretty good job. Like he did a good job of defending when I had his back. He did a good job of defending the arm triangle. Locking your hands behind the leg. That's like kind of like high level jujitsu, to be honest. And so he impressed me in that aspect. But on his feet, he really, like, I feel like I should have finished him on the feet.
Yeah, and it was one thing that I noticed throughout the or the weigh-ins, at least, is I never expected him. I knew he was 6'3", but I never expected him to be that tall. Is that the tallest guy you've ever fought?
Dude, he was huge. Before the fight, when I looked across the cage, I was like, I almost laughed. I was like, God damn, he is big. And at weigh-ins, like, it looked like, the picture looked like he had like 7 inches on me, but he had those Reebok shoes on. I know they had a big platform, and I was barefoot, so it made it like even worse. So I didn't really think much into it.
Yeah, so, and I was thinking about this because when I was going through Twitter, I saw someone say, I wouldn't be shocked to see Andre Petroski win via decision, and all these people saying that you're going to win via decision. And you get a finish. I think it was like 30 seconds left, and then the fight.
Yeah, I think like 13 seconds actually.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so yeah, I wanted to ask you and give you a little bit of a chance. Do you have an apology for anybody who bet via decision on you?
I mean, no, I don't feel bad at all, because someone actually did message me and said something like, yeah, like, you were the last leg of my 8-leg parlay. If you would have won by decision, I would have won like 20 grand or something. And I would just responded like, you're a fucking idiot. I was like, in 7 fights, I'm 7-2 now. So in 9 fights, I've never once gone to a decision. I'm like, what? What makes you think that now, like, yeah, this is the one, he's going to go to a decision? I don't know. I was like, you're an idiot.
I designed this whole, I'm a numbers guy, I'm a nerd, I'm an averages, percentages type of guy. And I built a system that predicts fights, and maybe that guy needs a little bit of help from me because I picked the distance. But I actually had you at a very high percentage. And typically what I like to do is I like to interview the person who was the highest percentage, and that was yourself on the card.
Hey.
So just wanted to mention that to you. But going back into it.
Over Makhachev?
Yeah, over Makhachev. It actually had a decent, it was pretty low for Makhachev, just because I think it was because Hooker is a better striker than him, and that went to the ground in like the first 40 times.
I told a couple people, with Hooker was like minus 480, right? Or plus 480.
Yeah.
I would like that bet, to be honest. Like, I think Hooker's a dangerous fight. And I think that they're really hyping Makhachev up. And I don't know if he's really deserved it yet, to be honest. I'm not saying he's not good, but I just don't think he's what they're making him out to be.
No, and that's fair, honestly, because you saw even Gaethje was saying like, oh, like that'd be crazy if he got a title shot over me. And yeah, I could see that as well, because you look at the people who's fought, like no crazy jiu-jitsu guys.
Right.
So yeah, just going back into talk about you, when we're going back to the Ultimate Fighter, this is one thing, and like, I hope you don't take any offense to this when I talk about the Ultimate Fighter of the season. I was a little bit shocked as a person who loved the early seasons of the Ultimate Fighter. The drama was the main thing that I loved, and I felt in a way it was kind of lacking in this season. The only sort of drama part was with yourself and Mitch Raposo. I think he was saying something about Ortega's fake, and then you were calling him out for that. What's your assessment on that? Am I terribly wrong, or do you think that there was just a good group of guys that just kind of got along?
Yeah, they got there like really wasn't. They didn't really bring on like any wild card like dudes. Like it was all just like, I don't know. Everyone was like real well behaved and didn't really want to start any trouble. Everyone kind of walked on eggshells, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, with Mitch, like it's funny because we were like boys at first, and then when he got picked on the other team, he started like, saying whatever. But yeah, like he was just saying that Ortega was fake and this and that and the other. And my argument was that like they came to support us after the fight, and that their coaches didn't. And I don't know. And then he was bitching at me for saying that to Volkanovski to his face. And I was like, so you're here talking shit on Ortega behind his back. And I said one thing to Volkanovski's face, and I'm the one that's fake now. Like, how does that make any sense? Like, if I was fake, I'd be saying it behind his back and not to his face. But it is what it is.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm a logic sort of analysis type of person, and the logic didn't add up there. And another thing that I found hilarious, and I don't know if you ever kind of clicked with this, but with Mitch Raposo, when he was talking, Ortega's the fakest guy ever, and then when he wins the coach's challenge,
yeah, he gave him the money.
And he was like, wow, this guy's actually a really nice guy.
Yeah, man, he was like upset that day in the house because he like felt guilty. And now
I feel,
because after Ortega gave him the money, he felt bad that he like talked all the shit on him. And I was like, yeah, man, just learning experience.
All right, man. Well, I want to let you get going. I have a few more questions for you, but yeah, first thing is last thing about talking about TUF is, do you hold any sort of pride in being the person to 2 wins in the UFC from the Ultimate Fighter season?
I never thought about it, to be honest, but yeah, man, I was just like, I don't know. I fought 4 times in 6 months, so like, for me, that's something to be proud of. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know anyone else that's fighting that often. And I'm blessed that I've been given those opportunities, but that's good too. Another thing I take a lot of pride in is our team, Henzo Gracie Philly. We're 7-0 in our last 7 fights with 6 finishes. Like, I don't know any other team that's doing that. Like, I don't know why we're not being nominated for team of the year, But we got 2 more guys coming up November 20th, Sean Brady and Pat Sabatini. So looking to make it 9-0.
Yeah, I think that was on your. I think that post you posted that on your story about making it 9-0, and I was like,
yeah,
I never even really thought about that because you guys have a team there. I needed to ask you about this as a guy in the division. Paulo Costa, the whole weight issue going to 205, or first it was 190, then 195, and then 205 with Vittori. What's your kind of assessment on that whole situation?
Bro, so my coach was showing me pictures of him when he was an amateur compared to now. And it's like, holy shit, dude. Like, what? Fuck, man. Like,
is he smaller or bigger?
Dude, he was like fat. Like,
oh my God.
He's like, so, dude, I don't understand how he could get in the cage at 220. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know what he does. I mean, yeah, it's bullshit they didn't make weight. I'm happy that Dana made him go up to 205. Like, for me, I come from wrestling. Like, if you don't make weight, you don't wrestle. Like, it's no question asked. Like, you either move up a weight or like you don't wrestle. Like, that's it. In fighting, it's like you miss weight and you can still fight. And it's just like, I don't know. Like, I've never missed weight in my life, so I don't get it. I mean, he lost 50% of his purse, so like, I mean, that's good. I'm glad Vittori got paid for it, but yeah, I don't know. It kind of sickens me, to be honest.
Hey, fair enough. I'm sure you're not alone. So yeah, man, like I said, I want to let you get going. Thank you so much for taking the time. This is, like I said, the shortest little preparation I've ever had. So I hope I did decent asking you the questions. But
it turned out good, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, man. Take care.
See you, brother.